Welcome back to my channel, Pocket Change Coins. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. The world of the 1972 D United States half dollar, a coin that could be worth far more than you'd ever imagine. Picture this: you're handed a handful of change after a purchase. You see a big silver-colored coin in the mix, a half dollar. It's got President John F. Kennedy's profile on the front, the familiar face that's been on the half dollar since 1964. You flip it over and see the majestic eagle, its wings spread wide, arrows and olive branches in its talons. Just another half dollar, or is it? Now take a closer look at the date. 1972, and just below Kennedy's neck, a tiny D mint mark. That D means it was minted in Denver. Most of these coins are just circulating pieces, used and forgotten. But some are hiding secrets. Some are more than just pocket change, they are collectibles worth thousands. The 1972 D Kennedy half dollar was struck during a time when America was transitioning, both economically and culturally. It was the post-Vietnam era. The country was shifting from silver coins to copper-nickel-clad ones, and inflation was rising. But the Kennedy half dollar remained a symbol of hope and remembrance for a beloved president lost too soon. This coin had emotional value for many Americans, especially those who remembered where they were the day President Kennedy was assassinated. By 1972, the Kennedy half dollar was being produced in huge numbers, mostly in clad composition. But here's where it gets interesting: not all coins from this year and mint are created equal. Among the sea of standard issue 1972 D half dollars, there are a few that stand out, some because of their flawless condition, some because of unexpected minting errors, and some because of bizarre and rare characteristics that slipped through the cracks. Now let's talk about what collectors really love: errors and varieties. The US Mint strives for perfection, but even the best systems have flaws. Some 1972 D half dollars were struck with improper dies, off-center alignments, or even double dies, where the image looks like it was stamped twice. Others were struck on the wrong metal planchets, meaning they were made using blanks intended for completely different coins. These are the kinds of things that make a coin go from being worth 50 cents to being worth thousands. Condition also plays a major role. Most half dollars from the 70s were tossed into circulation and show heavy wear. But a few were carefully stored by collectors or ended up untouched in government-issued mint sets. These pristine coins, those graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, can command enormous premiums on the collector's market. So what should you look for if you happen to come across a 1972 D half dollar? Start by checking the surface. If it's shiny, smooth, and free of scratches, you might have something special. Next, examine it under magnification for any doubling on the letters or numbers. Look for anything odd, such as off-center strikes or inconsistent textures. And of course, verify that little D under Kennedy's portrait. If you find a rare variation or an exceptional quality piece, you could be holding a rare gem of numismatic history. One of the most amazing things about coin collecting is that it reminds us that value isn't just about how something looks, it's about the story it tells. The 1972 D half dollar might seem like just a piece of loose change. But in the right condition, with the right characteristics, and in the right hands, it becomes a treasure. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you are lucky enough to own a flawless or rare error 1972 D Kennedy half dollar, especially one in mint state condition, you could be looking at a value as high as $96,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $96,000. For a coin that could be sitting unnoticed in a drawer, a jar, or your grandparents' old collection. So take a moment to look through your coins. Pay attention to the details. Because sometimes, it's the coins we overlook that are the most valuable. And who knows? You might just be holding a slice of history, and a small fortune, in the palm of your hand. Second rare coin, we're diving deep into a remarkable piece of American numismatic history, the United States half dollar coin from 1918. This isn't just any coin, it's a fascinating relic that captures a pivotal moment in time, and it might just be worth far more than you expect. So stick with me as we explore the story, design, rarity, and value of this extraordinary coin. By the end of this video, you might just be dreaming about finding one yourself. Back in 1918, the world was a very different place. The First World War was drawing to a close, and America was emerging as a powerful player on the global stage. It was a time of change, optimism, and rebuilding. The half-dollar coin from this era, often called the Walking Liberty half-dollar, was more than just currency. It was a symbol of freedom, progress, and the American spirit. This coin features one of the most beautiful designs ever minted in the U.S. On the front, you see Lady Liberty striding confidently toward the dawn, draped in the American flag, with branches of laurel and oak in her hand, symbols of civil and military glory. The intricate artistry was the work of Adolph A. Weinman, who created this design to inspire hope and pride in a nation healing from war. Flip the coin over and you'll find a majestic eagle, wings partially spread, perched on a mountain crag. The eagle's presence conveys strength and vigilance, qualities that were crucial for America at the time. This design wasn't just for aesthetics, it was meant to remind every citizen of the ideals the nation stood for, but what truly sets the 1918 half-dollar apart is its rarity and condition. Although millions were minted, surviving examples in excellent shape have become increasingly scarce. Most coins from this period saw heavy circulation, leaving them worn and damaged. Coins that remain in mint or near mint condition today are prized jewels for collectors and history buffs alike. Even more intriguing are the variations and mint marks from different mints, such as Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint has subtle differences that can affect the coin's desirability and value. For example, some 1918 half-dollars from the Denver Mint are exceptionally rare, and their scarcity has driven up collector interest significantly. Collectors also treasure any coin with unique minting errors or anomalies. Double strikes, off-center images, or die cracks can turn a regular coin into a sought-after collectible. If you happen to find a 1918 half-dollar with one of these quirks, you might be holding a genuine numismatic treasure. The value of a 1918 United States half-dollar can vary widely depending on condition, mint mark, and rarity. A circulated coin might only be worth a modest amount, but a pristine specimen or a rare mint variant can command staggering prices. The market for these coins remains strong, as both seasoned collectors and newcomers appreciate the beauty and history encapsulated in these small silver discs. So, what does that mean in terms of actual worth? If you're lucky enough to possess a flawless or rare 1918 half-dollar, you could be looking at a value of up to $200,000. Yes, $200,000 for a coin that's over a century old. This coin is a shining example of how history, artistry, and rarity come together to create something truly special. It's a reminder that sometimes, the small things in life hold the greatest treasures. Third expensive coin. We're embarking on a fascinating journey through American history with one of the most iconic coins ever minted, the United States half-dollar coin from 1776 to 1976, specifically the 1976 Denver Mint edition. This coin is far more than just currency. It's a tribute to 200 years of American independence and a symbol cherished by collectors worldwide. Stick around as we explore its rich history, unique design features, rarity, and ultimately, what this incredible coin could be worth today. You might be surprised by what you discover. The 1776 to 1976 half-dollar is a special bicentennial coin issued to celebrate America's 200th birthday. This was a monumental occasion, and the U.S. Mint wanted to mark it with something truly memorable. Instead of the usual designs, they released a unique reverse side that year, capturing the spirit and pride of the nation. The Denver Mint, marked by a small D on the coin, produced millions of these special halves, but not all are created equal when it comes to collector value. The obverse side retains the classic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, a design that has graced the half-dollar since 1964, symbolizing the enduring legacy of one of America's most beloved leaders. But the reverse side steals the spotlight with its bold and meaningful design, a stunning rendition of the Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the very place where the Declaration of Independence was debated and adopted. Surrounding it is the inscription, 200 Years of Freedom, a fitting tribute to the nation's journey. this coin is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, giving it a durable finish suitable for everyday use, but many collectors seek versions struck in 40% silver, especially those minted for collectors and not intended for general circulation. These silver-clad versions often carry a premium, especially when preserved in mint condition, while millions were minted. Finding a 1976 D half dollar in pristine, uncirculated condition is becoming a challenge. Over time, the majority were used in daily transactions, leading to wear and loss of original luster. Coins that remain flawless or close to it, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are highly coveted. The Denver Mint's version, in particular, has some rarer die variations and minor errors that add an exciting twist for the avid collector. Beyond condition and mint marks, another element that influences the coin's value is its provenance and whether it's part of a special set or packaging from the U.S. Mint. Original packaging, certificates of authenticity, or being part of a complete bicentennial set can add significant value to the coin. Collectors also look out for coins with rare minting errors like double strikes, off-center images, or die cracks. These anomalies make a coin unique and often push its price well beyond standard issues. So, what kind of value are we talking about? While many of these bicentennial half dollars trade hands for just a few dollars, the very best examples, those in perfect, pristine condition or with rare minting features, have been known to reach astonishing values. If you're fortunate enough to hold a flawless 1976 D Bicentennial half dollar, or a rare variety of it, your coin could be worth as much as $150,000. This coin represents a beautiful blend of history, artistry, and numismatic rarity, reminding us that even the coins we carry every day can be treasures from the past. Especially, we're turning our attention to a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the United States half-dollar coin from 1973. Though it might look like an everyday coin, this half-dollar holds secrets and stories that could make it a prized gem in your collection. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about the value hidden in your pocket change, stick around as we explore the history, design, rarity, and ultimately, the surprising worth of this remarkable 1973 half dollar. The 1973 half dollar is part of the iconic Kennedy half dollar series, which was first introduced in 1964 following President John F. Kennedy's assassination. This coin carries not only the face of one of America's most beloved presidents but also decades of cultural significance. By 1973, millions of these coins were circulating, and while many were used daily, some managed to escape wear and tear, remaining in pristine condition. On the obverse side, you'll see the detailed and dignified portrait of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The image captures Kennedy's youthful spirit and charisma, making it one of the most instantly recognizable coin designs in American history. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the date, 1973, marking the year of minting. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted with the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. The eagle, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizes the United States' readiness for peace but also defense. This design remains a symbol of national pride and strength, perfectly complementing Kennedy's image. What makes the 1973 half dollar especially interesting for collectors is not just the design, but the subtle variations and mint marks that can make one coin far more valuable than another. Coins minted at the Denver Mint carry a small d, while those from Philadelphia often lack a mint mark. Some 1973 half dollars were also struck in 40% silver, especially those meant for collectors or special sets, which greatly enhances their desirability and value. However, condition is king in the world of coin collecting. Many 1973 half dollars found in circulation show signs of wear, scratches, or loss of luster. On the other hand, coins that have been carefully preserved in mint or near mint condition, showing sharp details and original shine, are exceedingly rare and highly sought after. Collectors also pay close attention to potential minting errors or anomalies that may have occurred during production. These can include double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet flaws. Such rare errors can boost the coin's value significantly because they turn a common coin into a unique collectible. But now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the value. While typical circulated 1973 half dollars might be worth just their face value or a small premium, those that are in flawless, uncirculated condition or bear rare minting errors can command truly impressive sums. If you have a 1973 United States half-dollar coin in pristine condition, or better yet, with a rare variety or error, it could be worth as much as $80,000. Next coin, we're diving deep into a coin that many people pass over without a second glance, the United States 1998 P half-dollar coin. Now, don't let its size fool you. This coin, minted over 2 decades ago, might look like just another piece of pocket change, but it holds a fascinating backstory, eye-catching design, and a secret that could turn it into a major payday for the lucky few who recognize its true potential. Stick around until the end, because you might just be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than you ever imagined. Let's start with a little background. The 1998 P half-dollar was part of a long-standing American tradition. Since 1964, the Kennedy half-dollar has been minted in honor of President John F. Kennedy, just months after his tragic assassination. Over the years, the design stayed mostly consistent, but subtle changes, mint marks, and production runs make each year's coin a little different, and sometimes, a lot more valuable. The P mint mark on this particular coin tells us it was struck in Philadelphia, one of the U.S. Mint's oldest and most historic locations. Now, by the late 1990s, half-dollar coins were no longer commonly used in daily transactions. Most people paid with quarters, dollar bills, or credit cards. The half-dollar had become more of a collector's item than everyday currency. As a result, many 1998 P half-dollars never even made it into circulation. They were stored, collected, forgotten in drawers, or tucked away in mint sets. But here's where it gets interesting. Because some of these coins, especially the ones that were preserved in perfect, uncirculated condition, have become highly sought after today. The difference between a regular coin and a valuable one often comes down to condition, rarity, and demand. And the 1998 P half-dollar checks all the boxes for serious collectors. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse, we have a stunning portrait of President John F. Kennedy, created by Gilroy Roberts. His profile is bold and noble, facing left, with the word Liberty curved around the top and the year 1998 below. Just above the date sits the P mint mark, sometimes small enough to overlook, but incredibly important for collectors. Turn the coin over, and you're met with the presidential seal on the reverse side. This powerful symbol includes an eagle with outstretched wings, a shield on its chest, arrows in one talon, and an olive branch in the other. Surrounding the eagle are stars and the words, United States of America, and half-dollar. It's a beautiful design that reflects the strength and ideals of a nation, carved into metal and preserved for generations. But what makes this coin truly valuable isn't just its design. It's the rarity of flawless examples, coins that have never been touched, scratched, dropped, or exposed to the elements. These are what collectors call mint state or MS coins. The higher the grade, the more impressive and expensive the coin becomes, and if you're really lucky, you might come across something even more special, a mint error. That's right, some 1998 P half-dollar coins were struck with slight errors during the minting process. These could include off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet flaws. These kinds of imperfections might sound like defects, but in the world of numismatics, they're gold. Why? Because they're rare. And rarity drives value through the roof. Imagine finding a coin in your collection that has an off-center strike or a doubled image of Kennedy's face. It may look strange at first glance, but to a serious collector, it's a one-in-a-million discovery. And here's another thing that adds to the coin's mystique, its connection to history. The Kennedy half-dollar isn't just any coin. It's a tribute to one of the most iconic and inspirational leaders in American history. When people collect these coins, they're not just collecting metal, they're collecting a story, a legacy, a moment frozen in time. So how do you know if your 1998 P half-dollar might be one of the valuable ones? First, check its condition. If it's been circulating in your pocket change for years, it's probably worth face value. But if you've got one that's still shiny, sharp, and untouched by wear, that's when you need to take a closer look. And if you see anything strange, like a misprint or an off-center design, don't ignore it. That's where things get exciting, because now, we come to the big question: what is it worth? If you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in perfect, uncirculated condition, especially with a rare mint error or unique feature, you could be looking at a collector's dream. In fact, some of the finest examples of the 1998 p half-dollar coin, especially those that have been professionally graded and certified, have sold for as much as $45,000. That's right. 45,000 US dollars. From a single coin that many people might not even bother to examine. Incredible, right? So now it's your turn. Go through your coin collection. Check those old boxes, mint sets, or family keepsakes. The 1998 p half-dollar might be hiding in plain sight, and it might just be the most valuable thing you own without even knowing it. Last unique coin, we're going to uncover the mystery and potential fortune behind the 1992 p United States half-dollar coin, a coin many people have never given a second thought, until now. At first glance, this coin might not seem all that special. It's just another half-dollar, right? A shiny silver coin with President Kennedy's face on it, common, familiar, something you've probably held in your hand dozens of times. But like many coins in the world of numismatics, the ordinary can sometimes be extraordinary, especially when you dig a little deeper into its story, design, and the rare gems hiding in the shadows. Let's rewind to the year 1992. America was in a transitional phase. The Cold War had just ended. A new wave of technology was beginning to emerge. Grunge music ruled the airwaves. And in the numismatic world, the Kennedy half-dollar series was nearly 3 decades old, yet still very much alive in the hands of collectors and the general public. The 1992 half-dollar, minted in Philadelphia, marked with the P mint mark, wasn't a headline-making release. In fact, it was one of those coins that quietly slid into circulation. But fast forward to today, and collectors have started to pay close attention to this year, because hidden among the common coins are rare examples that are turning heads and opening wallets. Let's talk design. The obverse side features the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His profile is stoic, dignified, and instantly recognizable. Around the rim, the word Liberty curves over the top, with the year 1992 stamped proudly below. Just above the date, you'll notice the small but important P mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse, we find the presidential seal, a bald eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows, a shield across its chest, with stars surrounding it in a circular pattern. This side of the coin is as bold and majestic as the ideals it represents. And with high-quality examples, the detail in this engraving is absolutely breathtaking, but in the world of coin collecting, beauty is only part of the equation. What really drives up a coin's value is rarity, condition, and those fascinating minting anomalies that make certain coins stand out like diamonds in the rough. So what makes the 1992 p half-dollar potentially so valuable? First, consider this: many of these coins were released into circulation, meaning they were passed from hand to hand, tossed into cash drawers, dropped on the floor, or left in old change jars. As a result, the vast majority have signs of wear, nicks, scratches, and faded details, but a small number, an extremely small number, were never circulated. These were either preserved in mint sets, stored away untouched, or even forgotten in pristine rolls. These uncirculated versions are the ones collectors chase, because their condition, often graded by professionals on a scale from 1 to 70, can make all the difference. Coins graded MS 65 or higher are not only rare, they are treasured. And then, there's the exciting world of mint errors. That's where things get really interesting. Imagine finding a 1992 p half-dollar that was struck off-center. Or maybe one with a double die, where the design looks like it has a ghostly duplicate because of a misalignment during striking. Perhaps a planchet error, where the coin was stamped on the wrong type of metal. These flaws might sound like mistakes, but to collectors, they're unique signatures that make a coin one of a kind. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare error coins, especially one in mint condition, you're looking at a serious jump in value. That's why collectors constantly inspect coins with magnifying glasses, study the fine details, and compare known variants. Because sometimes, one small imperfection can be the key to a big payday, but let's not forget the historical appeal. Every Kennedy half-dollar carries with it the legacy of a president whose life was tragically cut short. For many Americans, these coins are not just currency, they are symbols of hope, youth, and what could have been. That emotional connection adds another layer of value that goes beyond metal and mint marks. So now you're probably wondering, what could a 1992 p half-dollar actually be worth today? Well, if you've got a regular circulated version, it's probably close to face value, 50 cents, maybe a little more. But here's where the magic happens. If you happen to have a 1992 p half-dollar in flawless uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare mint error, then you could be holding a collector's dream. In fact, some of the finest examples, those that have been graded at the highest levels and possess unique characteristics, have sold for as much as $30,000. Yes, you heard that right. $30,000. For a coin that might have been sitting in someone's drawer or tucked into an old coin roll for decades. So, what does this mean for you? It means it's time to check your collection. Dig through your old coins. Look closely at that Kennedy half-dollar you thought was just ordinary. Because sometimes, the most valuable treasures are the ones that look the most familiar. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and hidden value, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. We've got plenty more stories to share, coins that look common but could change your life. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of numismatic wonder. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your coins safe, and your curiosity alive. Happy collecting!